Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Waikele webinar. Um, we're going to talk of the topic this morning is going to be the success of the Neighborhood Security Watch and Citizen Patrol, safer communities, and how we can achieve it. I want to welcome our guests, Officer Alyssa Dumlao, um, and is my screen showing? Oh my
Yep.
gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm going to be your host today. Um, I have over 35 years experience in community policing. Also served 8 years as a security director of a major condominium and planned communities. I recently made 2 years here in Waikele yesterday. And
Congratulations.
I'm also the Neighborhood Security Watch Council CEO and founder, a nonprofit, which will be coming up on site pretty soon. We're working on our website, but you know that's in progress. And I want to introduce Honolulu Police Officer Alyssa Dumlao. She's dedicated to the community policing philosophy from District 3 Community Policing Team. Also with her is Officer Mike. He's temporary assignment with community policing, but I believe he'll be returning back to patrol because of some shortness in patrol. And I want to welcome everybody else. Today we're going to be talking about community policing and the difference between neighborhood security watch and citizen patrols and how it works. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand it over to Alyssa. You can share your screen. Thank you, Alyssa, for doing such a great job on this presentation. It's a new presentation. You just got it going, so um, yeah, it looks good. But go ahead, Alyssa. The floor is yours.
All right. Good morning, guys. A lot of familiar faces in today's meeting. It's nice to see you guys. And hope to see you guys this weekend. Yeah, hopefully the weather holds up. But as Duane said, my name is Officer Alyssa Dumlao. I've been with HPD for over a decade. Just made 10 years earlier this year in February. Been assigned to the District 3 Community Policing Team for maybe the past 5 years. So I've really split my career between patrol and my second half been in community policing and being very engaged with the community, schools, and groups such as you guys. We do have my partner, Officer Mike Ebrow. He's been with us for almost a month, yeah, Mike. And unfortunately, due to some staffing shortages with some injuries that we had over the weekend with our officers, unfortunately, he's being reallocated back to patrol for temporarily. We hope that's a very small, short, temporary stint back in patrol. Because if not, the District 3 Community Policing Team is really going to only consist of me and Officer Chris at the moment. So that's a little bit rough. Anyways, so we're here to talk about the Neighborhood Security Watch programs. You guys are very, very fortunate here in Waikele that you guys are probably one of our best communities when it comes to these programs. Very successful, very engaged. And basically this program is, having the community be a part of this problem-solving method, right? A lot of times, HPD and police, we come in and we be the enforcement, and the enforcement, really doesn't solve the problem at that point in time. So it really is a collaboration between, multiple agencies and partners. And this Neighborhood Security Watch is basically that. From my time in Waikele, I've seen that it's blossomed into something more than that. You see a lot of friendships being made, and it's a lot of fun coming out and doing all the different stuff besides just the enforcement. So that's kind of a good thing with the Security Watch program. So yeah, basically a partnership between you guys and us to create a safer and stronger sense of community within Waikele. We're short-staffed, right? There's no doubt about it. And having the community be a be an awesome partner is definitely helping us. Because, we're not going to be out there every single street and every single street corner. So you guys are here. You guys are here day in and day out. You guys can be our eyes and ears. And that's basically what this program is all about. Ooh, can I get to my next slide? Let's see. Ooh. Technical difficulties. What's going on over here? So basically a history about the program. I think it came to Hawaii in 1980. It was started in the mainland. It was known as the Good Neighbor Program. I don't think that at that time they had citizens patrols, or they probably were doing it. We just didn't have a name for it. It was kind of a newer approach. I think back in the day, this was a more successful kind of thing. Like I said, they were probably doing it back in the day. We just didn't have a name for it. And I think that you guys can attest that, in this day and age, it's, not a lot of people take the time and get to know their neighbors or even pay attention to what's outside of their bubble. And so that's kind of where it started off. We had a very strong sense of community back in the day, and somewhere along the way, we've kind of lost that. And now you see the kind of uprise in these neighborhood security watches, especially on the west side, with that increase in violence and all that kind of stuff. And I think that this is a first step to mending that broken relationship between the community and the police and everybody else in between. But it started off as a program, to involve the community by you guys being the eyes and ears, and really it being a collaborative effort to prevent and reduce crime in our specific communities. I'm gonna try to exit out this real quick. Present back. Okay, perfect. So the goals of this program is there's a multiple concepts with this type of program. Obviously, number one is the educational aspect of it, right? A lot of people, they don't know how to call 911. They don't know, or they only know the only number that they know to call is 911. Being a part of neighborhood security watch groups, we kind of can educate you guys on different ways to report the things to us. So you guys are very familiar with the Honolulu 311 app. Here in Waikele, you guys are fortunate to have that email chain and email blast, that Waikele posse. And we've been able to teach you guys specific things on, scams that might be going on, how to describe a suspect, or how to describe suspicious people or vehicles. So we do exist as an educational aspect of it. If you guys are needing or wanting any specific education or information, that's something that can be provided through this program. Obviously, as a second one is a coordinated community involvement, and I think that you guys have done a very, 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 very good job here in Waikele. I think that we were talking about it this morning, and out of the 21 communities that you guys have encompassed within the Waikele area, I think everybody has a represented resident or member, except for 4, and I don't even remember what the names are, so Duane can talk about that later. But it's a really good program to encourage getting to know your neighbors, getting involved in your community. I know you guys are very involved with cleaning up parks, painting over graffiti, coordinating community events, coordinating events with the schools. I know that there's a Waikele career and college fair coming up that I think Duane them are going to will be at as well. Third goal is crime preventive measures. Obviously, we want to educate you and empower the community to be able to identify small problems before it becomes a bigger festering issue. Obviously, with the intent to prevent, deter, and reduce crimes in the area. And like Duane likes to say, anywhere but Waikele, right? Unfortunately, that's the mindset that we all want to have, anywhere but our community, right? And then lastly, is strengthening that community police relations. And I think that, like I said, you guys are probably one of the better groups that we deal with. And we don't want the other groups to know how involved we are, because they're going to call us and want to do all that stuff. But we have a lot of fun with you guys, and we appreciate you guys' partnership with us. And I really think that it's a very, very positive relationship that we have with between at least us, the community policing team, and Waikele residents. And I'd like to say like the patrol guys and girls are pretty good and has a good relationship with you guys as well. Just a breakdown of the structure, how it works. We do have kind of like a chain of command-ish style. Obviously, you know, back in the day, I think we were 6 or 7 officers strong in District 3 CPT. So we were able to have a specific officer assigned to different groups. Now that it's just me and Officer Chris, we kind of share the load, right? The coordinator, I know we have multiple coordinators for this specific smaller groups, but luckily for you guys, the community association is very, very involved and support this program. So usually I kind of treat Duane as a coordinator for everybody, and he kind of disseminates out to the block captains, which would be representatives of the specific communities that you guys have in here, Viewpoint, Park Glen, Celebrations, Sunset Point, whatever it might be. You know, that's kind of how the communication is disseminated down. And then obviously back up the same way. If you guys see something, you guys let Duane know. If it's something that's not important or immediate emergency, you guys obviously are calling 911 and calling that in. But if it's not emergency, you guys are letting Duane know, you guys are letting your coordinators know, and then it gets back to us, and then we can kind of see what's going on, you know, come up with some solutions and then bring it back down. Yeah. So that's really how the program structure exists. And we only do that only because just to avoid having the members like directly communicate with me or Chris or Officer Mike. Having you guys go through that chain of command or that phone tree kind of helps the message get to us and not overwhelm us with all this stuff. And the coordinators and block captains can kind of filter the information if it really needs to get back up to us, or if it's something that can be mediated or taken care of at the lower level. And that's basically the structure, just to kind of keep it clean and not so disorganized and stuff like that. So we talk about the crime triangle, just like the fire triangle, right? So we talk about these 3 elements have to exist for crime to occur. 1 is desire, 2 is the ability, and 3 is the opportunity. Having an NSW group kind of can affect the two parts of the triangle, which is their ability to carry out the crime and commit the crime, and then the opportunity, right? The desire is always going to be there initially. But if you guys do a good job about taking away their ability and taking away their opportunity to create these crimes or commit these crimes, then obviously they're going to be like, you know what? I don't think Waikele is the best place for me to be ripping people off or doing stuff that I'm not supposed to do, because I know that these community members and the people who live in Waikele are going to notice, one, and they're going to call. And when they call, that blue light's going to come through and we can hook them up, right? If anything. So yeah, we talk about the desire, obviously it can be influenced by various factors. You know, a lot of the crime issues that we have is not just a crime issue, right? They're just not like regular people off the street that are just deciding to commit crime. There's some other need and gain that they have, right? And a lot of it has to do with, you know, drug abuse or mental health issues. So that desire can be kind of hard to kind of take that out, but at least the ability and opportunity, you know, by us giving you guys tips as, hey, you know what, securing your vehicles, securing your houses, you know, these are certain tools and tips and tricks, you know, because if we're not giving them the opportunity to break into our car or break into our house, they're going to find somebody else to be, right? So that's kind of what we talk about, like that crime triangle. If we can take one of those elements out, then obviously that crime's not going to happen, or it's not going to be a desirable area for them to commit crime, because you guys are out and about, paying attention, calling it in, and taking you know, taking ownership of your guys' properties and communities. Through the neighborhood security program, like I said before, we teach you guys and we teach people how to report issues. And a lot of times what we hear is, you know, we go to meetings and stuff like that. And, you know, in the past, all these crimes have to occur for somebody to be like, hey, you know what, we got to do something and get together and do something as a community. So obviously the creation of these groups always comes from bad, right? I think that the Waikele NSW groups really took flight after that Berg series, and was that Sunset Point, was it one or two? Sunset Point one. And historically, what we see after that is, you know, everybody's gung-ho for a month or two, crime stops because they're gung-ho, they're out there. And then everybody kind of gets complacent and they're like, nah, I don't need walk today, or it's okay, we're good now, you know, and they kind of die off. But, you know, what we've seen in Waikele is that you guys are strong, you guys come out, you guys involve your guys' groups and other stuff besides just the NSW groups. And I really think that helps to foster that sense of belonging, that sense of family. You know, you guys are all one Waikele family. Yeah. And I think that me and Officer Chris and Officer Mike can feel that we're also a part of your guys' Waikele family, right? Anyways, sorry, got lost. When these meetings happen, these initial startup meetings, we hear all the complaints, we hear all the issues. And my first question to them is, did you guys call 911? And majority of the time, the answer is no, because they said, oh, I didn't want to waste your guys' time, or I didn't think that it was important enough for me to call. But if it wasn't that important, you wouldn't be sitting here, you know, grumbling to me and telling me this is what's going on, right? So, you know, we want you guys to call. We want you to call anything that an on-duty patrol officer needs to come out. And, you know what, we talked about prioritizing our calls, right? Sometimes, you know, a parking complaint is going to have less priority for us than an in-progress call, such as a domestic dispute with somebody, or a weapons call, or a bank robbery in progress, or some kind of alarm, something that requires our immediate attention. Obviously, that's going to be something that we go to first. We're still going to take the lower priority calls. It just might take us a little bit longer, but like how we've said in other meetings before, is that we'd rather you guys call for the small stuff and have that blue light come through, whether it's 10 minutes or 1 hour later. Because if you don't call, that blue light's not coming through for whatever reason. But, you know, for me as a patrol officer, I'd rather have to deal with multiple suspicious vehicles or suspicious people calls than have to spend my whole shift doing like 5 reports because 5 cars got broken into, or 2 houses got broken into, right? We want to try and nip it in the butt. And I'm not sure if I talk about this in my presentation where we talk about that broken window theory, right? We want to take care of the small, little Manini kind stuff before it festers and grows into the bigger issues. You know, and we talk about parking, abandoned vehicles. Your volume, I turn your volume off. Okay, yep, got them. You know, the longer we leave those things out in plain view, on the people from the outside, they take notice of that, right? And they say, hey, you know what? Hey, I dumped 1 car over here and nobody said nothing. So, you know, let's go dump more cars, or we'll go hang out over here. We'll do our drugs, we'll go sell our drugs. It really festers into bigger stuff. So if we can call, nip it in the butt earlier, that's kind of what we would recommend on our side. And then obviously if people don't want to call 911, because it's not something that needs immediate response, we do have other options such as the Honolulu 311 app. That's for non-emergency. The good thing about the 311 app is that you can report any city-related issue that requires attention from any agency within the city, not just police. Stuff can go to DTS, which is the Department of Transportation, for like signs. If you have an issue with a park, some tree is, you know, the tree looks dead, or the tree is overgrown or whatever, blocking lights, or lights are out at the park. Stuff can go to the DPR, the Department of Parks and Rec. Usually we still get the 311 app complaints on our side. We just don't immediately respond to it. With these options of reporting criminal activity, you always have the option of remaining anonymous. I know that it's a big thing that you don't, you know, if you don't have that good relationship with your neighbors, you don't want it to escalate things or create ongoing problems. So you guys do have the option of remaining anonymous, or asking, you maybe don't want to meet with the officer in person, Maybe you want them to give you a phone call or you don't want to meet them at all. From our experience, the best things for us is to meet with somebody in person in case we have follow-up questions or we might need you to make ID or we need a witness statement or whatever. And obviously, if we're not meeting with anybody and it's a parking complaint or some suspicious person and we don't get a really good description of it, honestly, that patrol officer is just going to drive through and they may or may not get out of their car. They probably won't if there's nobody to meet with them and point them out or give us a better description or give us more information. So just know those are your options. You can meet with an officer, you can have them call you back if you don't want to meet with them, or you don't have to meet with them at all. You can just remain anonymous. What we do ask that when you guys are calling in, please give us as much information as you can. A lot of times we get parking complaints, for instance, right? It's like, oh, it's on Lumi'a'au Street by the park. It's a white sedan. And for everybody who lives in Waikele, you guys know that that's a prime parking space for the apartment complexes around there, or the condos, right? And how many white sedans am I probably going to see down on Lumi'a'au? So we ask that you guys give us a bit, good description, make, model, color, license plate would be awesome. Addresses, is it fronting? Is it across? How many occupants are in the vehicle? Sometimes people call it in what they think is a parking complaint, and then we run it on our side and it's actually a stolen vehicle, which can escalate things on our side, right? So the more information that you guys give us on our side helps us to be safe, helps us to know what's going on and take the appropriate enforcement actions. As far as personal descriptions, we talk about giving head to toe descriptions. Like I said, head to toe, hair, eyes, facial hair, complexion, what are they wearing? What kind of shoes are they wearing? Do they have any bags? Do they have any weapons? And then the most important thing is, we encourage a non-confrontational approach to this program. We do not condone any vigilantism. We don't want you guys walking around with your guys' pitchforks and torches and guns and knives and all that kind of stuff. We want you guys to be good witnesses, be good reporters, because, we'd hate for you to escalate a situation and put you and your family or other people in danger, if no need, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say, if you're in a situation and you got to do it, you need to defend yourself. Hey, you got to do what you got to do if it comes to that point. But if it doesn't come to that point and you have the option of not being non-confrontational, that is what we are going to ask you guys to do. Some safety tips that we like to remind our groups and the community as whole is, securing your vehicles, locking your vehicle, considering installing an alarm, activating that alarm. I know that me personally, on my personal car, I have an alarm, but I probably don't even alarm that thing every night. So I need to do better about that. We've seen, I think the recent break-ins in Waikele where you guys are locking the cars, they're activating their alarms. Well, what they're doing now is it's kind of like a safety security blanket. Like, I lock my car and I put my alarm, so my car should be good. But then they fail to take their valuables with them, right? So now what's happening is that these criminals, right, we're giving them the opportunity because we're leaving our valuables right there out in plain view, right? So they're breaking the windows, grabbing that bag full of your work computer, your wallet, your keys for your house. And now you're going to have a bad day when you got to call us and you come out to go work and your window is broken and your work bag is gone. Securing homes, and we have all talked about this. We've had several burg series over our course of us being with Waikele. So making sure, all windows and doors are locked, even if it's a second floor window, these guys are watching. Thankfully, we haven't had a burg. Oh gosh, I'm probably gonna knock on wood for that one. But you guys have been good about, securing your guys' homes and stuff like that. We haven't had any issues with that. But just know, like, even if it's like, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna run down to Safeway real quick, grab me some milk. I'll just lock my front door, right? But, somebody might be watching. They can utilize stuff that we even leave out in our yard, right? Ladders. I think they were using some, ladders that are being left out in the yard to access that second floor. We do suggest installing and purchasing and investing in surveillance cameras and lighting, and that's a whole nother topic that I think Duane has another webinar that he's done in the past talking about SEPTID. And then just being aware, right? A lot of people, we're stuck to our phones, or even just walking in and out of our car, boom, looking at our phone, texting our friend or whatever it might be. Being better, being better about looking around with our surroundings, because if we are aware of our surroundings and we can see that, hey, that's a sketchy person walking towards me and I don't know, and it's not really anybody else around, and at least being more aware of it, giving yourself more time to react to it, being mindful of your surroundings, that's probably one of the best things that you guys can do to prevent yourself from being a victim of any kind of crime. And then this is my last slide. We talk about the Citizens Patrol. So the NSW groups are basically, they meet once in a while. I think here in Waikele, there's a monthly first Wednesday meeting. The good thing about the NSW program is that it's very, sorry, can you answer this? It's Chris. I don't even know what the word is. You can make it to what you guys wanted, right? Some people meet quarterly, some people meet monthly, some people meet weekly. I know that you guys are very, very involved. We get your guys' monthly schedule, and it's filled. You guys have something every week, right? A lot of times they just communicate via text message or email threads. And then the Citizens Patrol is another aspect of that neighborhood security watch. It involves actually getting together and walking your neighborhood, right? Some guidelines that we remind people of, and I think that you guys, this isn't an issue for any of you guys, right? But just a reminder, we would like you guys to always go in groups, at least 2 or more. We do not suggest going alone, only because if something happens, then you're by yourself. At least if you have a partner with you, somebody else can call, can be there to assist you if need be. Again, we don't condone any or we don't condone any vigilante activities. We just want you guys to be good witnesses. Yeah. Citizens patrols, we do have t-shirts, right? But not a lot of people want to wear the t-shirts, but it's more of just a visibility thing, and it's just something to show people who don't know what the group is or who are up to no good in our neighborhood, right? It's like, hey, we're out here, we know that they know that you're there, you guys are looking, you guys are watching, you guys are taking note of things and people who don't belong, and it just kind of identifies you guys as what you guys are, security watch members. Yeah. Like I said, Waikele is one of the more successful groups that we have in our district. Obviously, our district stretches from Kunia all the way to Halava Foster Village. We do have some groups that exist in like Royal Kunia and Aiea that have recently expressed the desire to kind of meet with other groups and talk story and see, just kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And I don't know if that's something that we can kind of foster moving forward. But yeah, that's something that we're looking into. And like I said, for a lot of people on here are actively involved in the neighborhood security watches and citizens patrols. So we thank you for the hard work and dedication that you guys give to this program, because it would not be what it is now without any of you guys. And thank you to Duane and Malcolm and Kristen for always being awesome hosts and taking care of us. Like I said, it's a partnership and a relationship, and we're very appreciative for you guys. So thank you so much. That's all I got, Duane. Okay.
You guys have any
Oh,
questions? Any questions about what we do and how we do? I just want to thank Alyssa and Chris, they're always coming out, and I know patrol right now is having a hard time, and Mike's gonna go back there, but the police department can't do this on their own, and that's why we really want our program in Waikele to be successful, and the whole island. I mean, if you look at where I live in Macau right now, all the homicides and the shootings and everything, but it's really the community has to take ownership, and like how we do here in Waikele is, weekly we get out there and walk around and show ownership and really get to know the neighbors, and that makes us really sustainable. And I think we really, myself personally, I'm looking to really grow our community base volunteers through different programs. Like coming up on Saturday, we have a cleanup at Shito Park at 7 in the morning, and then the community's come. We're going to partner with the uh, Waipahu High School kids. They're gonna come out and meet with us, and they're gonna help clean up also. So we're fostering the relationships with the next generation. Even our graffiti paint outs and community cleanups, we foster our relationship with Rush Education, which is a soccer school, first time ever in Hawaii. And the kids come out and they really, come out and have a good time painting out graffiti, and we're setting them up to be the next responsible citizens because after us, we need successors. We're trying to grow our next generation and to be responsible citizens, and our mentorship here with our community, with our kupunas and our other people that come out and volunteer and clean up, and we work in partnership with each other. It really shows that we are a thriving and community that is within wellness, and that's something that community policing of philosophy talks about, reaching a place of wellness. And I really don't like that word because like Alyssa says, we get complacent, and when you reach a place of wellness, people get complacent again because crime is not existent. And why do the people get involved? Because they're victim of crime or they've been bullied by their neighbor. So they want everybody else to get involved to help each other out. And that's something that I think we're facing here in Waikele because now the burglary series has subsided. At one point we had 15, 16 burglaries in 3 month period. But because of our partnership with the police department and with the plainclothes units, they made that arrest of the burglary suspect who is still living in our community, but hasn't been active in our community. And hats off to the plainclothes officers and everybody else, and in our effort through neighborhood security watch and citizen patrols, getting out there, showing ownership, letting know these guys, we don't want that in our community. Graffiti here in Waikele is almost non-existent anymore because the guys know that when they come out and graffiti in 2 days' time, we're gonna just paint it out, and they're wasting their time to bring it in Waikele. But if you leave Waikele on the outskirts, you look at Press View on the other side on Cam Highway, or you go down below as you get onto the freeway, the overpass there, you see graffiti there, or down on Managers Drive. We're surrounded by those entities, and because they don't have relationship that we have in our community and our WCA, who allows us, WCA is Waikele Community Association, our board of directors, and the community just comes together and really fosters partnerships and keeps our community. I like to live in Waikele because I feel that it's a safe place to be, you know. And I just want to share a little bit about our community and our programs, of what we have existing here, and show our people, who they are and how we get out there and do stuff. So I'm just gonna show some photographs, and I'll go through some of it. You could see our organized walks. Most of you guys here on our guests, as our guests in these pictures right here because you folks care about our community, and our organized walks is 2 to 3 a week in different locations. We'll do managers drive side, or we get on the other side and do Sunset Point one side, or we go up to classics. Wherever it is, we want to be in different areas uh, throughout our community, showing that ownership that fosters, you know, crime prevention. We're reactive. We're not reactive. We are proactive. We're problem solvers, and we really get out there and you know, clean up our community. But whether it's walks or our mobile patrol, Mr. Sue's out there. We haven't had too many um, participants in our mobile patrol. Bless Brother Gil, he just passed away, and Ehu was his dog, and he was one of the guys that really came out and got out there with us while we were walking, supported us with the light on the vehicle, with the signs on the vehicle, and creating that other aspect of community policing and mobile patrols. So, this program came up when I was working in Waimanalo when they were having agricultural thefts out there, and the community wanted to see how could they cover it so much area. They couldn't walk the whole miles of back roads in Waimanalo because they were stealing plants and stuff like that. So they came up with the mobile patrol, and we brought that here in Waikele. So this is a program that I like to see grow too, because if you can't get out there and walk, you can be highly visible and get out there and get in a car. Yeah. So that's something that, I like to see it grow. We're looking for more people to come out. And if anybody wants to get involved in that, let's do it. Let's show ownership by patrolling and covering more area with a vehicle. Yeah, flashing lights, signs on the side of the car. If you see something, say something. This is our bike patrol. First, I think we're the only planned community that has a bike patrol. Um, our general manager, Malcolm Ching, he came up with this concept. And that's how I started here in Waikele, just coming in, because in the police department, I was in charge of a bike patrol over in District 4 side, for the police department. We had a bike patrol for the police department, and I had that experience. I came out here, and and lo and behold, the program is highly successful. It's because if you look at it, it's part of the concept of supporting one another by having the walks at the same time when we're out there riding the bikes. So it really adds to the program um, in all aspects. So, you asked us why we're so successful in Waikele is because we have a lot of volunteers. We want to grow that amount again. Um, if you wanna get out involved, let us know. Contact me. Invite your friends. Invite your neighbors. Even if they don't if they don't live here in Waikele, they still can come on and patrol with us. I think pretty soon, I think Ken Mijo, he's been a part of this program in Waikele for 27 years. That's unheard of. I think that's the longest I heard of anybody doing community policing and citizen patrols. And he's still organizing. In fact, tonight at 8 o'clock, we're having a walk over in Gulf Coast Estates at Homaka and Sunset Point 1 and 2. So that's at 8 o'clock tonight, and he's still getting out there and organizing this. He's organizing the cleanup on Saturday, him and Amy, and my hat's off to him. Uh, the sustainable membership and volunteership, it's really letting Waikele grow and fostering that, the mentorship for the next generation. So, you talk about that, and we talk about you know, the community projects that we do. This is some of the pictures. We just did the community traffic awareness partnership with Waikele Elementary School. You see that in the picture there with us holding the walkway signs. Officer Chris and Alyssa is out there with us, the community. Um, I think we had over 50 volunteers come out that morning at 7 in the morning. It's unheard of. 7 in the morning, you're coming out before school and we're all out there waving signs. But it just goes to show how committed our community is, the different programs that we have and really getting involved and showing ownership. But I can just go on and go on and go on about the different things that we do. We have education and training, continuous education and training through the webinars, which is today. We had one on personal safety because of our burglary situation. We had a burglary prevention one on how to fortify a home. We give free CPR classes every fourth Thursday of the month. I believe this tomorrow we have another class with 8 people signed up already. So all of these programs, I think, really keeps us sustainable and really keeps our community engaged and wanting to get more involved. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out today and enjoying our fellowship together and seeing why we're so successful here. Um, and I just want to thank the police department family, Alyssa and Mike and Chris, and even our major, Randy Platt. I worked with him many years ago in Waikiki, and he's now the district commander. Um, I know the police department has a great responsibility, and they can't do this alone. I used to be one of them, and I still am in heart. And the things that I do here in Waikele is actually what I was doing in the police department, and that's part of my passion, um, as an employee here or as a team member. I call it team member because I'm part of the team and a community and a police department and all the partnerships we have. But thank you so much for coming out. If anybody has any questions, please let me know now. Um, uh, if you do, let us know. If not, big mahalos to everybody who's on the webinar. I appreciate you. And like I always say, and I always close when I leave, I always say, if I haven't told you guys before, I love you all. And I thank you for everything that you guys do. Because you guys make us, we don't make you. Okay? And I appreciate it. With that, love and aloha to everybody. Till next month, I think we're gonna be having our webinar. It's gonna be about emergency management for disasters because it is hurricane season, gang. If you haven't heard, there is a storm coming, so be prepared. Rain, the city's gonna have some rain and stuff like that. Get your water, 14 day supply of equipment or food or whatever you need. Stay safe and aloha. Take care, gang.